So President Biden is on the move today. He's going to head to the near war zone conditions in our southeast. He's going to South Carolina. The storm hit Hurricane Helene last Thursday. So now nearly a week later, he will go. He's going to reportedly survey the devastation brought on by Helene, and the death toll now across 6 states is at least 166 people killed. Helene is now the second deadliest hurricane to hit U.S. mainland in a half-century, the most deadly Hurricane Katrina. Steve Harrigan is live for us, just about 35 miles outside of Asheville, North Carolina, where those epic pictures of the impact there have been seen. Steve.
Harris, a lot of these smaller towns aren't getting much attention. Asheville's getting all the press, but things are remarkably bad here. There's a really all-volunteer fight going on, just friends and neighbors and people who live here to try and connect one side and to connect them across the river to the other side. That's really been a battle. You can't get vehicles through at this point. You said the death toll is higher than 160, and that's likely to keep going up. People here say it's going to go up much higher because many areas still so cut off. It's really people checking on neighbors by foot or by bicycle, going door to door. And people here tell us things have gotten so rough they are sharing water with each other.
We're sharing food, and water is now becoming available, but a lot of us had water on hand that we're sharing if needed. And then for flushing toilets, we're going down the street to the spring and collecting rainwater if it comes.
People hungry here, too, for information. They ask us, what's going on? When's it going to get better? They're using handheld radios to try to find out. Many here are aware that the president will be flying over some of the worst-hit areas this afternoon. Harris?
Well, you got in there, and I know that the president isn't as physically capable as you are, but it would be interesting if some more people could actually get into that area. And military could definitely airlift something into that area. We do it all over the world. Steve Harrigan, thank you. Brian, I'm sure people can hear this tone in my voice. It was last Thursday.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy. Not only that, okay, maybe the hurricane was not a surprise to anyone. The which state will hit at the hardest? It looks like Florida is expected to hit hardest there. And maybe no one in North Carolina in the mountains thought that they were going to be water victims, and maybe they made some poor decisions. Having said that, having not been able to identify the problem, and I was just on the radio and took a ton of calls today, almost all of them for the hurricane, and people called me from the surrounding areas saying there's like 5 or 6 small towns outside Asheville, which he just talked about.
Yeah, he was in Maggie.
Are totally ignored. And they have not heard anything from the governor. They are now communicating through the handheld or the ham radios. So there's a huge problem. And if anybody should know optics, wouldn't it be somebody that's been in politics for 50 years?
Yes.
Why would he even think about leaving the mansion? The White House, is it that bad of a place to spend a weekend there?
You know
so
what?
just to be in headquarters and show you're engaged, throw in a windbreaker.
That is so interesting what you're saying. And Kaylee, I thought of it this way, just to further what Brian is saying. As you were talking, I was thinking, well, what younger person, other than the 81-year-old man, could go to this and maybe cross that bridge, because she's a year younger than I am. I know I could do it. And go to some of these areas, right? That bully pulpit. But my gosh, grab a gallon of something and take it with you and be part of the... What? Oh, you mean the vice president who still technically has a job? By the way, she's going to Georgia today. I hope she pops by the Savannah, Georgia port that shut down because of the strike. Lots of picketers. I call on those people. Do a good deed today and help.
Yeah, a lot of problems in the Biden-Harris watch. Brian, I mean, to your point, would we expect anything different? Biden left the White House during the fall of Afghanistan and then had to go to Camp David from Delaware and then finally got back to the White House. You know, FEMA, we saw Kamala Harris there Monday. And it's this big, long table. And I've been there at these same briefings, and you have the nameplates there. And there's Kamala Harris at this briefing. And the sign behind her said, helping people before, during, and after disaster. And I got to thinking about that. Okay, well, before, Governor DeSantis said, yes, I got everything I needed from Biden. Kemp got a call from Biden. Before, they did deploy resources. They get credit for that. But before, during, and then almost to after, indeed to after, Biden was in Delaware. Kamala Harris was at a fundraiser. If I were advising her, I would have given her a call and said, get back here Saturday morning, come from the border. I want to see you in FEMA headquarters, and then we're sending you to Georgia once the damage has passed. We did not see her before, during. We're just now seeing her after.
Let's go back to that moment on Monday, because we have Kamala Harris ignoring reporter questions at the FEMA briefing.
I would ask that if we could excuse you for a moment.
Madam Vice President.
This way. Thank you. Come on. This way. Let's go. This way.
Right this way.
Thank you very
much.
Unmatched by the moment, how would you describe it, Emily?
Horrifyingly inadequate and underserving of every American, and especially those who are suffering right now in those areas. And, you know, for the fact to your point, Brian, about the optics, you know, the entire town, for example, of Chimney Rock, which the beloved Dirty Dancing was filmed in, and Last of the Mohicans. Think about the millions of Americans who feel sort of a personal investment there. Why is it so hard for our leadership to acknowledge the emotional impact all of this has on all of us when we see our fellow Americans suffering like that, when we see them suffering in silence with no way out? You've heard me mention many times, Save Our Allies on this couch. They stood in the gap of our administration dearth in Afghanistan when we left Americans and allies behind. They're headquartered in North Carolina. Right now, they are the military individuals, former, that are there, boots on ground, supplying and helping all of those Americans who need help. Anyone depending on the federal government? No. It's for leadership and it's for optics, but the actual boots on ground, helping those fellow Americans, that's Save Our Allies, that's the United States Veterans Corps, and I hope to God it will include our administration sometime soon, but I'm not holding my breath.
You know, this is a hero moment for the current administration. They can look at this and learn from the past when they were beating up on Republicans who actually were not making some of the best decisions they should after Hurricane Katrina. Like, we've learned this lesson already. Both political parties have. A hero moment would be, I'm calling up everything I got to get some airlifts in the air. I mean, it doesn't take much as a commander-in-chief to command your troops to go help your fellow Americans. And Maria, I don't want to single you out as like the only Democrat and all of that, because you've helped people in harm's way. You've been at the State Department. You know what it's like to be an American and need the help of the United States. You know.
And to be fair, that's what they're doing. I mean, there are 4,800.
I haven't seen any airlifts. I haven't seen anything that looks like, like our capability.
Let me give you some of the numbers and the statistics. 4,800 federal employees that they've already surged down before, have been there since, that are helping on the ground. The president ordered 1,000 National Guard. He brought up the National Guard from all different branches to do airlifts, to get food to people, to get help to people. They are surging resources. And when you hear from some of these Republican governors who say we do have what we need, we've heard from President Biden. And one of the challenges that we all know,
said that they have what they need.
We know that it is
Which Republican governor has said that?
I mean, Ron DeSantis.
Even the Democrat
Ron DeSantis
Cooper
has said very positive things, Harris. What I will say is getting a president and the security and the communications into places that have nothing is very, I mean, we hear from people on the ground.
Our crew got there.
Let me finish. No, but our crew doesn't have 25 Secret Service trucks that have to come with them.
No,
we hear
you can
from
drop it from the air.
Harris, we hear from, but you guys are complaining that they haven't been down there yet. We hear from sheriffs and local officials on the ground who say, please don't come yet, because we will have to divert emergency resources to protecting you.
I'm not sending people in. I'm asking from the air to utilize those boots on the ground.
So Biden and Harris are going today and tomorrow. They're going to visit 4 states.
And what are they doing? Are they taking supplies with them?
Yes, and they're hearing from people on the ground about what else they need. But they have the federal government down there, Harris, right now helping. And to say they don't is, I'm telling you.
I didn't say they weren't there. I said it's not enough.
It's been real slow.
It's hard to get to these places, Brian.
But put it this way, these people need help, and they're not getting anything from FEMA. Keep in mind, Trump has raised $3.9 million on his GoFundMe page for them.
Is that from his watches? We'll see where it goes.
No, it's for the GoFundMe.
Save Our Allies is there.
Okay, we got to go.
Donates.
Families affected by the hurricane urgently need support. Help the American Red Cross provide meals and shelter to these families. Donate today to Hurricane Helene by going to redcross.org/Fox Forward. And look, we get into it every day here, that the point of all of this is it's not enough yet. It's going to take everybody.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.